Hey everybody, Shane Sauer here with Blue Wing Title Agency. I'm here today with our Real Estate Minute, and my guest today, George Akers over at Better Homes and Gardens, S.J. Fowler. How are you, George?
I'm great. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm feeling it.
Yeah. Go outside, you'll feel it.
Absolutely. Well, hey, we got some questions. We're going to do a little interview today. You ready?
I'm sure.
Feeling it? You still feeling good
I'm
about
ready
that?
to go. Ready to
All
go.
right. Well, here they come, hot and heavy.
Okay.
All right, let's get into it. Hey, George, what are some of the biggest mistakes first-time home buyers make?
First-time home buyers. A lot of times they fall in love with a house before they know their numbers. They don't even know what they're really doing, but they saw them online. They went to a couple open houses, and they're like, "Oh, this is the house for us." And then maybe they come to me finally, and I'm like, "Well, did you meet with a lender yet?" And they're like, "No, but my wife makes $80,000. I make $70,000. We went online calculator. We did this. We qualify. I'm sure." Okay, we need to meet with a lender, and we got to know what your numbers are. We got to see what house you can really afford, because you just fell in love with something with $650, but what if you only qualify for $500,000? And then there's also there's a difference between you got to meet that lender and not just get pre-qualified, but you want to be pre-approved, because there's a huge difference there that a lot of people don't know. The pre-qualification is, if I'm the lender and you give me your numbers, I'm going to put it together and say, "Oh, you can easily qualify for this." But you're not pre-approved yet. So you go out and you look at these homes and you find the one you want again. And then I come back and say, "Oh, well, you didn't tell me about your $900 Tesla payment. You didn't tell me about your this support or your student loans or whatever." So I'm gonna have to adjust that downwards a little bit. And so you're going to be disappointed again. And then final thing I'll say is, they may tell me, "Hey, George, I got $20,000 down." And I said, "Well, that's good. How much do you have for your closing costs?" Deer in the headlights stare. Like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, you're going to have your lender fees, of course, and he'll talk to you about that. But there's escrow fees, there's title fees. Did you budget for an inspection? Don't try to waive that inspection, because I will never tell you to do that. But you may have HOA fees. You may have just insurance. What is your insurance going to be for that property these days? You got to really know that." So those are probably the three biggest mistakes I would say first-time buyers make.
So much, really, it's education.
Exactly. That's my job, is to educate, not to scare, not to boast my own sales or whatever. How can I help you get into your house?
Absolutely. I know people get so excited about that first home or whatever, and then they haven't gone through all the steps that you need to do to get to the point to actually be excited about it and have the possibility of getting it.
You get so disappointed too. And then all of a sudden, the next house they look at, which was instead of $650, which they thought they qualified, now they only qualify for $500. Though there's nice houses at $500, it's not the $650 home, and they get a little disappointed.
Absolutely. George, what should sellers do before putting their home on the market?
Good question, Shane. Before they put their house on the market, I would say, in the 23 years I've been doing real estate, declutter your house. Yeah. That's the one thing I'd always recommend. Declutter and neutralize it a little bit. You may have every appliance at Costco sales on your countertop, and it looks great, but when I walk in as a buyer, I'm looking at it going, "Oh, there's no counter space," because you've got it all taken up. Put some of those things away. So decluttering is probably one of the biggest things. The second one I would say would be to people who, if you walk through a house, you always have dings, you're going to have little paint swashes that need to be done. So I would say my second biggest thing would be take a week, fix that leaky faucet. Is there an odor in the house? Find that out. Because I've had homes that didn't sell because people said, "It smells, it stinks." And I can't smell it, but maybe you can. But so do all the little things, the little repairs. Is there some peeling paint? If someone's going to get an FHA loan, they're going to flag that right away. You've got to know what people are looking at, and then do a walkthrough with me, a pre-listing walkthrough. I'll walk through the house. I'll be looking for peeling paint. I'll be looking for bubbles in the paint. I'll be looking for torn carpet. I'll be looking for things like that. If you just fix, baseboards. I can't tell you how many people I've shown. Baseboards, George. They notice that stuff. So clean the house and get the clutter out of it. My biggest things.
I think you need to come in with a buyer's eye.
Yes.
On the same house. But I think when you're living in the house, you become desensitized, or you're just used to it, right? And
You do.
You want to see the things that you want to see, and you start to not see the little things, right?
Well, and if you have pets, they tend to, I cannot tell you how many homes I've had people go, I asked for feedback from the agent, and they're like, there's a dog smell in there. And I'm like, oh, okay. Or I've seen where a guy had these two big dogs, and they love to lean against the walls, but they left their oil from their coat
Yes.
on the walls, and it's like, they don't really notice it, they see it all the time. Like you said, they're used to it, they're desensitized. So go through that house, take a week, curb appeal, clean up that backyard a little bit, pick up after your dog. I'll leave it at that.
What are some common mistakes sellers make when pricing their home?
Big question. A lot of times they price on emotion.
Yep.
They don't price on market. They price on the fact that they went online and there's a couple companies that will give you a guesstimate of what your home is worth. And so they say, well, if that home is worth that, then my home is worth this much. Or 2 years ago, this house down the street, same model as mine, it sold for $700,000. And I just put a new kitchen in, so I'm gonna go, I think 720 is gonna work. And I'm gonna be like, okay, you put $30,000 into a new kitchen, that's fantastic, but you replaced Formica, you replaced your green oven, you replaced all these old cabinets that were falling apart. You brought it up to the level of everyone else. You didn't necessarily go over that level. So don't price on emotion, don't price on your memories. Oh, we grew up here. I raised 4 kids here. It's fantastic, I love it. That's really a cool story. But me as a buyer walking in, I'm not gonna say, oh, I love your memories, I'll pay $30,000 more. It's not gonna happen. So they do that, and then they wanna, let's start high. We can always drop it. And that's true, and we can do that, but we've got to have some schedule to say, okay, we're going to price it here. I think it's a little overpriced, but we'll start here, and we're going to really monitor, if I'm not getting any calls from other realtors, I'm not getting showing requests, we know it's too high. We're going to have to drop it. We can't wait too long. A lot of times people price high, and instead of getting a bigger price for their home, they get a stale listing. And they get a lower price because you're tracing the market down. You keep dropping your price, and finally you get down to a lower price that maybe had you priced it here to start with, it would have been better off. And it's not just me. If you look at a listing and you say, 80 days on the market, Shane, what's wrong with this house?
Right.
Nothing necessarily, but you just priced too high to start and got stale.
I think we're seeing that in today's market.
Oh,
things are sitting, and I think personally, coming out of the gate, price on the money is huge when you start stepping down, like you were talking about. Things seem to sit, and then right now we're seeing what 80, 90, 100 days on market in some of these.
And they not only sit, it's like they look at. There's 3 models in the subdivision that are pretty similar. And they see yours, and then this one's $20,000 cheaper, and this one's $30,000 cheaper, and they're all pretty close. Are you going to buy the one for $30,000 more, or are you going to maybe get the one $30,000 less, and then you've got $30,000 extra now to make it a little more of your own? Yeah. So don't have people bounce off your house and you notice those go for sale.
How important are relationships and referrals in your business, George?
Like I said, I've been doing this 23 years, Shane. It's huge. Almost everyone who comes through my door is someone I've sold the home to before, whether I sold theirs or got them a new one and sold theirs, or I have investors that have bought 11, 12 properties. They're not buying as much right now because it's not as good a deal.
Right.
But still, it's good relationships in that respect. And even relationships, there's people I sold their first house to. Well, they love their house, they're not moving. But their kids are. Their kids are now 20, 21, 22, 23. They're helping their kids get into homes. They know how well, like I had a couple that they actually couldn't buy for 2 years. Their credit was really bad. Had a great lender. We kept working with them, I kept keeping them abreast of what was going on. They finally bought this house, and they bought a nicer home after that. And now their 3 kids are all bought homes. And that's what keeps me. And I love it because it's fantastic. So those relationships are huge. It's not a one-time deal. It goes on and on. And I have referrals. I have people I work with all the time that maybe I got a inspection report and the plumbing had a big issue and there's a huge amount that the buyer wants off the price, but I know a plumber. I call him out for a second opinion and he's like, oh, it's not a big deal. I can do that. That happened all the time. So, huge.
Building clients for life.
Exactly. It's a cliche, but true.
How do you build trust with a new client?
New client is, well, you don't tell them everything they want to hear necessarily.
Okay.
You tell them the truth. You're honest. I think honesty, integrity, and telling someone the truth, not the easiest thing to do all the time, not maybe necessarily what they want to hear, but tell them. Your house is not worth that much. Or I bring up that kitchen story where you just brought your kitchen up to the level of everyone else because you were way below and now you're equal with everyone else way above. So it's not only telling them the truth, which can be hard to do sometimes, but it's also then delivering, backing up what I say I'm going to do. If I say I'm going to do this, I get it done. And it's not, I give them the reports every Thursday that I say I'm going to do. I market how I say I'm going to market. I do the open houses I say I'm going to do in that respect. And then sometimes with a video like this, I'm hoping to introduce people to me a little bit to get them to know who I am. Because I had, not too long ago, I got a lead from someone on, I think, Facebook. And so I texted them. I didn't have a phone number for, no, I had a phone number for them. I called, I left a message, then I texted them. And they responded back with, why should I work with you? I don't know who you are. I don't know anything about you. And she just went on and on. I don't know anything about you. And I take criticism and I think about it. And like, she's right. She doesn't know who I am. Why would she? So I sent her a video about what I do, and who I am, and how long I've been in the business. And still, I didn't get her deal, but that's okay. It's letting her know who I am. And I think video can do that and show people a side of me.
Maybe a learning experience with that, maybe looking at some different options to get people to know you.
Exactly.
Right?
And then educate through those videos. As you said earlier, education is huge. And so if you can tell that first-time buyer, hey, wait a minute, don't just do this. You need to do this and this. There's an order of things that will help you be more successful in the purchase of your home. So
absolutely.
Try to get them to learn.
Well, the next question plays right onto that. What role does social media play in your real estate business?
I'm not a young guy, so
What?
I get called boomer by all my kids and stepkids and all that, boomer, I know. But I do like that. I was in the IT industry, worked for the city of Mesa, the city of Corona in California, doing servers and computers, and so I like the tech side of things. I like shiny objects to find things out, and I like AI, I like all this things. Social media, I'm on all the major, the Facebook, the Instagram. I'm not the biggest poster, I'm not there yet. I'm not where I want to be, but it's where I want to go.
Sure.
And again, to give more insight as to who I am, what I can do for you, educate you. I'm not into the people who boast that they got X amount of sales and this, that, or whatever. I don't need to do that if I show you who I am through the video. There's some people I follow who do great home tours online, map tours. That's where I'd like to get to. And so this is where I'm starting out. So I have a presence, not exactly where I want to be yet.
Gotcha. What's one memorable or unusual experience you've had with a client or property?
Okay, I sold a property out in East Mesa, and it was a smaller, really rustic home on a big lot, acre-plus lot backed up to a canal. It had been there forever, and then he built subdivisions around it, basically. It was an 85-year-old woman selling her house. Her husband had passed a few years earlier, and so we marketed it real well. Actually, we had a gravestone on one side of the property. I thought that was, get your own gravestone. So we, through the process, it's on septic. So someone had given me a recommendation for a septic company that was supposed to be outstanding, the best you ever saw. So I gave them a shot. I gave them a call. And they came out and they dug up the tank, uncovered the main tap to it. And then they reached in, they had some tool and they were scraping, and they came out with all this stuff and said, oh no, this tank's falling apart. This tank is deteriorating. We're gonna have to replace this whole tank. And I'm like, oh man. Because the twist on this whole thing would be, it was close now with the subdivision around that you don't replace the tank. City of Mesa would not allow it. Instead, you connect it to sewer. Well, that's $20,000 plus. So, I called another company in that I'd used before. They came out and they, real nice guy, just no BS, I guess, best way to say it. He just comes out and he looks at the hole in the cap off and he's looking inside and he scrapes this. He goes, "Is this what he showed you?" I said, he goes, "This is just the crud, normal crud from a tank. This tank is better than newer tanks that they put in. There's nothing wrong with this tank. There is a problem with the baffle though. And the baffle is broken. We're going to have to replace that." And he said, "I bet you this guy, let me ask you, did he actually tell you where the leach field is or the well or where the water is going after the tank?" I said, "Or did he say on a check on his inspection report, did he say undetermined, couldn't be found?" And I looked at it and like, "Oh, he checked that box." He goes, "Let me show you something." So he runs the camera, it looks like a snake, runs it down through the tank, through the baffle. He goes, "There's your well." So you have a well 20 feet from here. It's 45 feet deep. You got 5 feet of water in it. It's built with block all the way around, and it's under that little access road. So I'm like, wow. And then he repaired the baffle, put it all back together, $2,500 instead of 20 or 9.
Yeah, right.
So again, that's knowing that referral, that knowing someone else to call for a second opinion. Don't always go with that first opinion. I had that happen quite often. So that house closed. This nice older woman was able to get to her retirement community. And a young guy bought the house who was a construction guy, so he's all ready to work on it. And it had thousands of, literally, saguaros all around it. He sold some of those off, and it was a really interesting property. But it was that knowing who to call to back yourself up. It was great.
Huge. What's been one of the most challenging, or what's been the most challenging deal you've worked on, and what did you learn from it?
I learned, Shane, that stick with things sometimes. I listed a home in a 55-plus community, older gentleman, of course, but he lost his job.
Okay.
And he bought the house only a couple years ago. This just happened last year, as a matter of fact. And so he could not make that payment. So we listed. And then somehow he brought in, I guess he thought it was a good idea, he brought in mothballs to the house. And he put them on all the closets because he had some wood in there that he wanted that the mothballs would help. Well, I had an agent offer to do an open house for me, a new agent, and she's 4 or 5 months pregnant and still working. And so she calls me from the open house and says, "George, I can't do this." I'm like, "What's wrong?" She goes, "The smell in here is killing me." I'm like, I don't smell good, but I can smell. And I said, well, so I got my steps on me, ran over there real quick, and I found 5 bags of mothballs that were absolutely horrible. I know another guy, so we canceled the open house. He's got a monster ozone machine. So he ran an ozone machine through that thing for 3 days, and he got it cleared up. That worked really good. And but that's the easy part of it. My client then informs me, he goes, "It's August, end of August." He goes, I need to tell you I haven't made a payment since May." I'm like, that's 4 months, no payment. So I got a hold of with him there, his lender. And so we talked to the lender. They tried different programs to try to put what he owed in arrears, and then he'd just start fresh today, but he still couldn't make that payment. So they tried, but he just couldn't do it. And then I had a vacation scheduled. And so every time I go on vacation, Shane, I do deals.
Always.
It's almost
Murphy's
like,
Law.
Are you kidding me? I've been to Hawaii. I like the Bahamas. And we went to the Bahamas this time. So, and just as we got to the Bahamas and got to Long Island is when Hurricane Melissa came in. Melissa had just gone around Cuba, Haiti, and was headed towards us, but it's supposed to go out here in our islands here. But it soon shifted. So we had no power, no water for 7 days.
Wow.
We had the whole hurricane come over us. It blasted the house. I had trash cans, ice chests, pots, pans, whatever I could find, catching water. It was just coming through any crack. It was just blowing. It was category 3, just blowing like crazy. And then it'd get calm, nice and calm. My wife's like, "I think we're done." And my son had been texting me screenshots of the radar. I'm like, "We're in the eye." He goes, "No, I think we're done." I said, "No, we're in the eye." I went out on the porch, which overlooked the ocean. I got a phone call. I'd like to make an offer on your listing. I'm like, I'm literally in the middle of a hurricane, in the middle of it. And, so I don't know how long I'll have this connection. Make your offer. There are no current offers right now. I look forward to seeing it, but give me a few extra days because I don't know when I'm going to have power, internet access. I'm surprised your phone call got through. So we went back in, and then the second part of the hurricane came from a different direction. No water came in the house, but it tore off the porch room and just decimated it. And then it was good. Of course, we were flooded we still had no more power for the rest of our trip. But we found a little hotel that had its own power, and I was able to get on their internet and respond. Her offer was $30,000 low. So it's like, disappointing. But I let her know this is where we're at. And with my client's permission, after I got back to Mesa, I told her, and she saw actually that we're in foreclosure. We actually were in official foreclosure. So then I didn't hear anything for about 2 weeks. And I'm still talking to the bank, still trying to do things. And then she gives us a call and says, hey, we're bringing our offer up. We're going to come up $20,000, but we still need you to pay the capital improvement fees, this, that, whatever. I'm like, I had a spreadsheet that showed every dime that we got, what it would go to, and what he would walk away with. And at the current offer, he walked away owing about $7,500. And I said, that can't happen. But here's what I'm willing to do. I'll drop my commission to 1%. If you drop yours to 1.5, if you accept that, and then your client pays the capital improvement fee, and we do this, that, and whatever, a bunch of other things. We negotiated. She gave in, I gave in. We were priced right, so they came in really low to start. So I think even when they brought their price up, they still had a good price. So we went through all this. My client walked away with nothing, zero, but he didn't have a foreclosure. They walked away with a house they really liked. They'd come back and back. It was a nice house, it really was, and worth what they paid. And even the title company mixed up numbers at first, and I think they'll get $5,000 back. I'm like, no, we're not going to get any money back. And because that money would actually go to the buyers since they'd come up and paid the capital improvement fee, that stuff. And I said, no, I know my numbers. You're going to walk away with $500 to $700. That's it. That's all that my client would have gotten, but will go to you. And that's exactly what happened. They brought in another escrow agent in, and she did a great job and wrapped it all up. But I knew my numbers. I knew what I could do for my client, and it all worked out. That's one of the hardest deals I've ever done, and in the end, it worked out well.
I'm going to show teamwork, putting it all together, everybody working together to get
both sides gave in. It wasn't about the ultimate dollar. I didn't mean to talk over you, but you're right. I get excited.
Well, I've got some rapid fire questions here for you.
All right.
Beatles or Stones?
Beatles.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Good man. Early bird or night owl?
A little of both, but probably early these days.
Yeah, me too. What's your favorite restaurant in the Southeast Valley?
I love Mexican food, so anything that's Mexican, to be honest. I like Morenos in East Mesa. I like Nando's. I like Serrano's bean dip. Really good.
I like Filiberto's. I'm not proud.
I've barely eaten there ever. I don't know why.
Los Fabs. I'm a big fan. I'm a sucker for carne asada fries.
Oh, any chili cheese fries I love, and then you put the carne asada on it. Absolutely.
Best piece of advice you've ever received?
My dad years ago, and I would argue with him, but he'd say, "There's no such word as the word can't. You don't say you can't do it." I'm like, "Dad's in the dictionary. It's this, that. It's a hyphen." Smart ass kid. Yeah, I know. But it was good advice, and if figure it out. You don't say, I can't do that. Well, why not? Well, what if you did this? Or what if you did that? What if you figured it out? In today's world with AI, there's things you can do that you could never imagine before. Why can't you write a book? Why can't you be a real estate agent? Why can't you get into tech? Why can't you? Are you willing to try? Are you willing to work hard? It's as simple as that. I've been good in the past at you buy a program. It didn't do anything. Of course, I didn't open it. I didn't work it. I didn't, I didn't follow it.
Yeah.
When then you make up your mind, like I dropped out of college, I did the 11-year plan, basically, in
There you go.
California. I dropped out, played basketball, went to the beach, loved it, and then I went back to school. It was a lot harder. It was on my dime, not my parents. And I got my degree in business marketing. And then I did that for my dad because he got his degree late in life, and he wanted all his kids to get a degree. I'm the youngest, and my brother and sister, they probably did it in 3.5 years. They were brilliant. I was the jock. And so I did the 11-year plan. I got the degree more for my father than for me. But then I went and got a master's in public administration, and that was for me because I was working for the city of Corona at the time in California, and I really enjoyed all the government stuff. I didn't like the politics stuff, but I liked the workings of government and how you can get things done in projects. And I worked for the city of Mesa out here for 11 years, and I still follow the city of Mesa, city council meetings, this, that, what are they doing? Why are they doing that? And it helps actually for real estate because I get calls, there's no water in Arizona. How are they still building this stuff? And I'm like, well, Arizona's been one of the top states, if not the top state in the whole country for water farms and filling that aquifiller and just managing their water as best as possible. And so just because you read all this stuff, you learn all this stuff, you're able to then give that information out to people and let them know. Because I have friends in California, there's no water in Scottsdale. Well, there was one subdivision that had a problem.
Right.
And it had to be fixed.
Right.
But so that's my long answer to my advice.
That's awesome. Well, George, it's been a pleasure having you on today. Any last words for the folks out there?
Move to no. I actually have a California license too, although I don't use it as much in the San Diego area. So I can help you sell in California, move out to Arizona. This friend of mine, he showed me a home in Manhattan Beach where I grew up. It is, the house, it was $3 million. The house payment at 6.5, rather actually it said 5.5, was $13,000 something a month. The taxes were $3,000 a month because they step up basis bulk, and so you got $13,000, you got $3,000, and another $3,000 for insurance every month. You're paying $19,000 for a nice house that looks like a subdivision house to me. Whereas you can move out here, and I sent them homes in Scottsdale for $3 million with $6,000 in taxes, and maybe you have to join the golf club for $150,000, but you don't have to pick that home. Arizona's a fantastic place. I love it. So if you're moving from out of state to Arizona, come on down. I'll help you find the perfect house for you. If you just need education on something, how do I do this? Let me know. I'm all about giving information out, helping people. It all comes around. Someone will help me out. And so just enjoy yourself, enjoy your day, and don't say you can't do anything, because you can.
Absolutely.
That's it for me.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.